I'm going to say we're in the transition. I don't even know if it's a transition. I'd say today we have hybrid vehicles, plug-in hybrid vehicles, which are really just electric vehicles with engines that you plug into the wall, so you have larger batteries, and then even larger batteries in pure electric vehicles, so you can get the range. Now, electric cars have been around for a while. In fact, the first cars were electric back in the mid-1800s, and New York had a taxi fleet of electric cars in the late 1800s. It wasn't until the discovery of crude oil, large discoveries. The first discovery, by the way, was in Canada, in North America, in Petrolia, Ontario. But shortly after that, Texas found oil, and it has a lot more of it. So once we had crude oil, it was a much more concentrated form of energy and didn't have the weight of the batteries. Batteries weren't as efficient, and the combustion engine came into being, and it's been with us ever since the late 1800s till now. And now we're in that transition in the last 20 years over to electrified vehicles again. So let's start with ethanol. What are the challenges? Well, the first challenge is, ideally, it is closed carbon cycle and no net carbon going to the atmosphere, so greenhouse gas friendly from that perspective. In reality, the economics kick in. So in reality, we end up using coal or natural gas to distill as opposed to using ethanol or the fuel itself to distill. Why? Because you get a larger quantity of ethanol out, and it's still economical to use natural gas and coal. So in fact, the environmental impact of ethanol is potentially quite high if they use coal for the distillation. Right? The sun only shines during the day, not at night. So how are you going to get electricity at night? Well, if it's solar, you have to store it. Now, wind's the same thing. It doesn't blow all the time, so you have to store it. We do not have any good storage methods for electricity grids to charge cars. Now, that opens up a problem, but it's also an opportunity. The problem is we're not going to have 100% wind and solar in our electricity grids until we find this large-scale storage. And until we find that large-scale storage, you're not going to be able to say the electric car is environmentally friendly everywhere. Electric cars are interesting, and it's because you have a battery, which is storage. So if your car could take the electricity when it's available, let's say we have excess wind energy, and if your car could be used at nighttime when there's no wind or no solar, and let's say there's no wind, to give electricity to the house, essentially everybody will have a portable storage. So instead of having a large central storage, we can have this distributed storage system. So that's one of the advantages people are looking at. So the current EV challenge that the UOF team is in is purposed on taking a Cadillac Lyriq electric vehicle and enhancing it. The ways we are enhancing it is we're going to convert it from rear-wheel drive to all-wheel drive. We're going to take this vehicle and add sensors to it. It already has a suite of radar and camera sensors for adaptive cruise control and lane keep. And we're going to add the feature of automatic parking. That's the challenge for the students. Purpose of the whole competition is to train students so that they can design the next generation of vehicles that are going to be environmentally friendly, leading us hopefully to sustainable transportation.